Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setups for today. So some interesting stuff going on here. Let me just do this. So there we have first trend line, and there we have the second trend line. So what we have forming is a megaphone formation, and often what happens is either a break of the megaphone formation one way or another and accelerates in that direction, or it turns into a diamond formation. So in other words, the trend starts dropping and then the trend's rising here. That's typically what happens when you start seeing this kind of setup. But let's just get rid of the diagonals. Diagonals are not what we want to do. We've had a break of some structure here, and that's the key area here at 39,120. And just below that is 38,050, sorry, 38,120, not 39, and 38,050. So this 38,100 area, look left, you can see it's been used as resistance before, it's been used as support twice, and now it's used as resistance, and this week we are back above it. So this downward trend has technically broken, but often you want to see a move back to the downside. So for me at the moment, there is a lot of structure ahead of us. So you can see every one of these fractals here, and I'm just going to put the pin bar in because that's the one that we're going to see some fireworks on, and that is right here at 38,530. And this little 50-50 bar, 50% green body, 50% tail. It does a bit worry me. It's not quite a pin bar rejection, but that tail is significant enough to pay attention to it. So what exactly are we looking at from the 3-hour perspective? You can see we broke, we came back to test, and then got a confirmation bar. Then going at the close, we're kind of just drifting sideways. In between the moving averages at the moment, although we do have a crossover which is bullish, we're still below the 150, and the 150 is our trend. So from a 3-hour perspective, we are still in a downward trend, but not a very strong short position at the moment. So when we drop down to the hour, we get a different picture completely. We had a crossover of all the moving averages, and we had a retest of structure. Okay, we didn't quite close the gap. We tried, but we didn't quite get there. And we've also had a retest of the 150 EMA break, so right in this zone. So at the moment, I would expect that we are going to look for some structure here. And to find this stuff is not going to be easy because we're balancing on one of them at the moment, which is 38,255. And I think let's just get down to the 15-minute because that's where the true picture is going to be. Right, so 38,255, you can see that's a swing high, and you can see how we are testing that. Just below it is 38,211. Now, the important thing to pay attention to here is you've got this weekly gap here, but look at all these gaps. So yeah, this move up from yesterday is not a very strong move. It's actually a pretty weak move. So I would be very cautious of trying to jump in on here, not with all these gaps to the downside. So often what happens, these gaps are full, but then you do have gaps to the upside as well. So take your pick. Which way is it going to go? We're going to go close the gaps to the upside or close the gaps to the downside. Are we going to stay in the upward trend, or are we going to reverse this trend? I don't think that is an option on the hour at the moment. So lots going on at the moment. I think the wise trade would be to wait for a break of 38,315 and a retest, and then get the trade moving to the upside. That's kind of what I'd be doing. You've got lots of structure, lots of gaps to downsides. There's lots of magnets for which price can actually sort of trickle down to come and test lower levels. But at the moment, typically, when you see this kind of setup, as soon as you get that break through this range, you need a solid 15-minute candle that breaks through, you've got a 150-point stop loss for a continuation to the upside. And I think first price is going to be 38,530, and once you're through that, well, there's so much structure to the upside. So let's just get to the 3-hour. So you'd have to get through 38,600 to be honest. That's probably the first level, but then look just above it. There's another big juicy pin bar. That's definitely something that's going to happen. So let's go back here. So 38,530, 38,600, and definitely 38,734 will be your profit taking areas for any long. Now, if just looking at this, you obviously would like to see a move lower, but we do have solid structure where we are at the moment. And you can see on the hour how that little range on the 15-minute, how important it is that you don't really want to be jumping in here where we are. Wait for the break of 38,315, retest of that on the lower time frames, and then you can look for your longs to the next structure, next bit of structure. That's the way I'm looking at this morning. Just bear in mind it's the FANG stocks starting tomorrow, so you could just range until tomorrow, until the earnings starts coming out. That's probably the only catalyst that is visible right now. Anyway, be careful, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.